This was supposed to be a simple assignment. I should never have allowed Lieutenant Orion to push us around. The ossuary of Telekar was thought to be the resting place of Mannimarco's most powerful disciple. We were searching the site, carefully mind you, when the Shades awoke. I don't know. They poured out of the ground. The soldiers rushed me back to camp, and now I'm the only one remaining. Lieutenant Orion won't let me venture from the camp, but you have no such restriction. Please find my acolytes. Some must still live.
Thank you. I can make it back to camp from here.
Research. All I want to do is research. Why do I always end up in life or death situations? Either in Darwin's cursed or I am. Shades boiling up from the ground? What next? Trolls in heat? We were excavating for artifacts when Dominion soldiers showed up, demanding we turn over anything we'd found. And Darwin showed them what we had, but Lieutenant Orion insisted we work faster. No protocols, no safeguards. I have no idea. The Mages Guild has procedures for a reason. Not that the soldiers listened. We found an ancient scepter made from bone, but before we could properly contain the artifact, one of those idiots grabbed it. That's right. And if it weren't for you, I'd have joined them. I'm heading back to our base camp. You should speak with Darwin if you think you can help sort out this mess. You can't be any worse than Lieutenant Orion. If those soldiers hadn't touched the Bone Scepter, we wouldn't be in this mess. The Mages Guild has no record of Shades haunting this location. Where did they come from, and what do they want?
That's not your property. I demand to know what you're doing. That bone scepter is the only thing of note we found. There's no end of trouble since we pulled it from the ruin. It's not dangerous, not directly. What I mean to say is that holding it won't rot your hand off. At least not immediately. It summons all the Shades, I suspect. It certainly doesn't control them. Not that I've found anyway. Although, the markings carved into the scepter are all Aliad, for Pale Sentinel. Could that mean the creature at the heart of the ruin? It's the only Shade we've heard speak, though it mostly just wails. It is rather pale, come to think of it, and the scepter works obsidian into bone, which is an old form of necromantic control. Say, would you care to help prove a theory? If that Shade is in fact the Pale Sentinel, that bone scepter may have some control over it. And if it's directing the rest of the Shades, perhaps you could force it to stop. Besides, we can't allow Telekar's ancient traps to remain active. Not this close to Elden Root. He was a necromancer, one of Mannimarco's most talented apprentices, but he and his wife Vistari eventually left Mannimarco's tutelage. It isn't entirely clear. There are many theories, but they all boil down to a difference of opinion. Seems to be the way of things with necromancers. If the Bone Scepter can control the Pale Sentinel, perhaps the Shades will settle down. Then we can get back to excavating the ossuary of Telekar.
I suffer. Help me!
Our orders were to protect the Mages Guild in their excavation, so you will have to see to your own defense. We're spread too thin to do anything but guard this camp. General Indare, commander of the Jade Dragoons. She sent us here personally from our garrison in Haven. What? That's preposterous! When did this happen? We received no word of a decampment. Our orders were to come here, mine the Mages Guild dig, and await further orders. But if it's true, there must have been a good reason to leave the city. General Indare does nothing without a good reason. She told us recovering relics was of great import to the Dominion. I didn't ask questions, but I think it has something to do with Eldenroot. Something's going on there, something political. I think the General wants to get out in front of it.
Leave this place! I won't let you wake him! The Bone Scepter! No, please, don't wake him! Stop! Don't make me go back! I was so close to escaping him forever! Telekar. A bad man who sleeps inside these ruins. When he wakes, I'll be trapped here forever. I'll do everything I can to get away. I did not! Telekar's servants hurt those people. They don't like you if you aren't from here. When he wakes, he'll control them completely. Just like me. The Bone Scepter holds power over Telekar's monsters. Over me. I can't lie to you. Besides, lying is wrong. One of Telekar's victims. But I don't have to be. If you can free me before he wakes, I'll leave. Then he'll go back to sleep forever. I understand. I'm a monster. Nobody listens to monsters. But if Telekar wakes, he might do bad things to people who live in the forest. I don't want that to happen. Not because of me. I want him to go back to sleep. Hooray! Follow me inside the ruin. We don't want the Shades to hear us. They're his spies, you know. Quiet in here. Telekar's servants don't like things with blood inside them. And they really don't like noise. There's a big sparkly door inside the Constellation Room. It's this big lock Vistari made, to keep him asleep inside. She doesn't come around anymore. I think that's why the door isn't so sparkly. Telekar's wife. They fought and fought, because he was a bad man, and she was a good woman. But she thought she could change him. When she realized he'd always been bad, she locked him in here. But the lock grew weak, and now he's waking. Vistari left 3 of the things we need in special rooms around the ruins. The 4th is stuck inside some of Telekar's servants. If you smash them open, I won't tell. But about all the pieces, I don't know how to make them work together. I'm sorry. That's easy. The morning room, the smelly room, and the forbidden room. But don't worry. I can keep you safe. We should just go there. I'll point out what we need. I can distract Telekar's servants. Point the bone scepter at one of them and I'll blind it. Then you can smack it until it falls down. Don't worry, it's not like you're hurting it. They get back up again, eventually. Oh, alright. The most important thing is the book Vistari wrote in when she locked the door. We need to find that so we know what to do in the Constellation Room. There's an old skull Telekar stole from Menamarco. Then there's a glowy vial. I don't know what's inside, but if you listen real close, you can hear whispers. Oh, and the Milky Rocks. You'll find those inside some of Telekar's servants. Behold, the Forbidden Room. I come here to think sometimes. It's where Vistari left the book she wrote in when she put Telekar to sleep. Once we find all the pieces we need. The smelly room. That glowy vial lit the hallways when Vistari carried it back from the Constellation Room. I don't like the moaning room. All the servants used to live in the cages. But Vistari brought that old skull back here. I'm sure of it. That's the last of them. We have all the pieces. We should go to the Constellation Room and put Telekar back to sleep. You have everything Vistari has. Something's happening. I think it's working.
How dare you intrude within my... What? It's
No!
you!
Let me go!
You there! Explain yourself! What are you doing in my home? Who are you? Why have you invaded my home? The Shades defend my home from thieves. Neither I nor my servants bear any interest in the living. My work concerns one who died long ago. And now, I would know why this creature travels with you. Simple-minded thing. Those wards haven't contained me for decades. I remain within by choice. Now, I'm at a critical juncture in my research, and I need this creature to complete it. If you interfere, I'll drive you from my home. Now, be gone.
No, please! I don't want to stay here!
You dare interrupt me? Kalian, my son, see to this intruder.
It hurts.
Again, you trouble me at a critical juncture. What must I do to hasten your departure? Attempting to restore my son despite your interruptions. That creature is a piece of him, an imperfect piece. If I reunite flesh and spirit, I can revive my son. He's my son. I'd do anything to restore him to a fraction of himself. With refinement, I can make him whole again. Vistari thought this hubris. If she hadn't left this world, I'd try to make her understand. That we could one day be a family again. I needed time to refine my methods, and time I have had. And now, I have his spirit. I don't wish to harm this creature. But without the Bone Scepter to control it, I must resort to cruder methods. You what? That scepter is crafted from my own bones. It can bind the creature to his immortal husk. Once Kalian's wounds knit, I'll summon him here. You must bind the creature to his husk, set things to how they should be.
No!
You feared I would raise an undead army to march through Grotwood? My wife and I spurned Manimarco for a reason. But in return for binding this creature to my son's husk, I pledge we will remain within our home forever. Kalian is my son. I needed all his remains to craft the husk, so I had to use my own for the scepter. To command a spirit, use a focus made of its bones or those of its close relatives. Basic necromantic principle. He was young when he had his accident. Too young. The creature you've met can't fully comprehend the world around it. Unless properly supervised, it could harm itself or others without knowing what it did. No, to set it free would be a cruelty. I broke through Vistari's ward just under a century ago. I have remained here ever since, attempting to restore what remained of my family. I will never leave, as long as Kalian remains at my side. This is my home.
No, please. You can't make me be a monster again. I don't want to be here anymore. It hurt when I was a monster. It hurt worse than these chains. I want my father to sleep so I can go away. I don't know. I wish you could use the bone scepter on him. Point it at his body. There on the throne. And tell him to go to sleep. Then I could finally leave. Far away from here. Somewhere safe and warm. Somewhere where I'd have friends. No, please. You can't make me be a monster.
Finally, my child is restored to me. There's still so much to be done, but you start with clay before moving on to marble. Vestari, if only you could see how wrong you were. I'll open a portal so you can tell them directly. My servants will defend our home from trespassers, but shall not stray beyond the ruins above. If they seek lost knowledge, the Reliquary of Stars is a wonderful old ruin, and it isn't here.
Go away.
You wished me to remain in my home, and I will. But my servants cannot distinguish you from an intruder. Go, take the portal to the relic thieves, and do not trouble us further.